Well, I want to thank you for coming on here, man. Thanks for being on this episode of Elevated Minds. Everybody, we got a special guest for y'all today. This is my boy, Akeem Washington, singer, songwriter, rapper, content creator. I'm going to have all of his stuff in the description so you guys can follow him, check out all of his stuff, his music.
Yes.
You definitely got to check it out. He got 2 new songs also with music videos. I'm Mad and On the Way, right?
Yep, and y'all be on the lookout this week. I got something special dropping, man. I got a cover dropping, man. A full acoustic cover. It sounds dope.
Okay. Yeah, so y'all hear it. Y'all gotta check the stuff out. I'm gonna have all that stuff down below. So we got a cool topic for y'all today. We're both from the same hometown back in Titusville, Florida. And so we want to do this special topic called Overcoming a Small Town Mindset. There's different things we want to go into with this one. First off, I'll just have you go ahead and introduce yourself and, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm Akeem Washington, a.k.a. Dominique. Everyone, my first name, but artist name Washington from Titusville, Florida, man. Obviously grew up in Titusville, went to Astronaut High School.
Astronaut.
With my boy here. Yeah, man, I started making music around 15, and ever since then I've just been growing and growing and growing. And now, as I've discovered myself, what I want to do, my mission, I'm definitely been pursuing it professionally the last, I would say, 7 years, so to speak, maybe a little bit longer than that. But yeah, music's the passion, man, and I'm just trying to make a difference in the world and reach as many people as I can with it.
Man, that's awesome. So when you first started writing, how did that start? Were you always into like rapping and singing and stuff like that? How did that kind of come about?
So funny enough, I was a kid and I had an older uncle. So I was about 5. He was like 16 or something, like in high school. So I'd be in his car. He had like an old throwback Cutlass, you know what I'm saying? And he would literally drive me and my older sister around, you know what I'm saying? And he would be blasting all the music, you know what I'm saying? Like Outkast, Tupac, Biggie. So as a kid, I remember being in the back seat hearing Bombs Over Baghdad by Outkast, and I went crazy. I was like, whoa, what is this?
That's like jam too.
Then my parents, they 60s baby, so they raised me up an old school R&B and stuff. So I got 60s to 90s, wow. 60s to 80s from them pretty heavily. So I always enjoyed music, but it wasn't until I experienced my first heartbreak at 14 is when I actually just started writing. I don't know what happened. I actually was always good at spelling, so I felt like words actually, I got now putting it together, like it was always meant to happen because I was a good speller and I just understood words. I would not study for spelling tests and be able to pass spelling tests, like, which was bad. Sometimes I could match words even with definitions with just looking at the sheet right before I took the test.
Wow.
So as now words was always kind of like my gift as far as spelling. So when I started writing poetry when I was 14, it kind of just like, I don't know, it literally just happened, and I started rhyming the end of everything and it just worked. So after that, I just kept writing poetry, but then being around one of my good friends who had been making beats and producing since he was like 12, it kind of draw the interest, and then he made a certain beat that drawed out lyrics from me, and ever since then I didn't look back.
Wow, man, that's crazy. I know that you had left Florida and you went to Texas and everything. How was that? Did that affect your creativity with your music? What was that like? Because when we stay in a small town and then you move to somewhere else and you don't know, like, it's a huge difference, especially when you never experienced that before.
Yeah, so actually when I was 20, I took a leap like that and moved to Colorado Springs for 8 months. So that was like, I did that, and then so this was the recent one. You know, I just moved back to Florida about 3 months ago, and honestly, man, it was life changing. You know, I had to get away from this area. I had a lot of baggage of what people thought about me, what expectations of myself. Just, I didn't really know myself fully, man. And when I went to Texas, like, I was out there. I did have some extended family, but I was out there basically kind of by myself in a lot of ways. I had nothing but me, my thoughts, myself. You know what I'm saying? I had to face myself. I had to deal with my demons, but I developed my true self, man, my true identity. And as an artist, you can even hear, you know what I'm saying, in my music, kind of like the growth from, you know, the past years until, you know, 2020.
Absolutely.
2021, 2022, Akeem, you can hear the development in the music and the growth and the realness. So I found out, like, I'm just meant to be authentically me and raw and put the emotions out there and not try to filter it to dumb it down or to not sound as dark or to not sound as real. Like, I realized, like, nah, I'm meant to just express and say what I say, because my music's meant to reach, you know, the lost. It's meant to reach people, to give them hope. It's meant to reach people, to inspire them, right, to motivate them. So I can't do that if I'm sounding like anyone else or I'm dumbing myself down, even my own experiences and struggles. So yeah, it's a big difference, man. I even tapped into some reggaeton while I was over there, just because, you know, it was a big Hispanic culture over there. Shout out to San Antonio. I appreciate y'all.
Man, that's what's up, though. Cause, like, I mean, I feel like everybody should move out of their hometown, even if it's not forever. If it's just like, you know, a few months or a year, I feel like it gives you a whole different perspective. There's a lot of growth that has to happen. And cause I moved to California 4 years ago, and that was probably the biggest leap I ever did. I didn't know but about two people here. One lived in LA and one lived in San Diego. I wasn't like super close with them. They weren't like family or anything. So it really does something to you, I feel like, for your perspective and the way that you are, and be able to you really have to kind of, you know, find yourself in a way. Because I feel like when you're in that small town and that's all you know, your identity is kind of in there. And so when you move, kind of like when you said, you know, facing your demons, like when you move to a whole new place, you know, you don't have the people to fall back on or anything like that. You really just have to, it's just you. It's you.
You and God. Bro.
You and God, you know. And so you have no choice a lot of times but to, unless you run from it, but you have no choice really but to face these things. And I feel like I definitely can hear the differences in your music from, you know, after you moving and then coming back and everything. I feel like I've seen changes in myself with everything that I do, you know, since moving away from what I always have known. So would you say that you feel that moving to Texas definitely impacted your music, you know, before moving back?
Oh yeah, man. I feel like, and I can say this pretty heavily, I feel like because people knew me or have known me for so long, they always like, we tend to do this as people. When we know somebody, we kind of put them in this box of like, oh, they're gonna do this, or they're gonna sound like this, so going away, like, people don't realize, to me, it was like life-changing. Like, I even coming back to Florida, I can't see the area the same exact way, because I used to be like, oh, I hate this place, or oh, this place sucks. But now, like, nah, like, this is my territory. Like, I'm gonna take over. Like, now my mindset is like, I'm here to take over. Even right now, like, I actually work in Cape Canaveral / Cocoa Beach, and before there was always kind of a scene a little bit, but now I came back and now I'm like, okay, I'm like, I feel like God's aligning it. Like, I'm getting linked with certain people, finding out about the open mic spots. You know, I'm trying to put together a band so we can start booking gigs and really taking this to the next level. Right. And this mindset is like, nah, like, it's time for me to take over where I'm at. and do what I can. And before it was kind of like, well, I don't know, or I don't know if I got. So like coming back, I'm not the same person. So I feel like a lot of people would try to push you there, but as I've been really just, opening up my horizons, people are starting to like realize like, okay, like something's
up here, something's going on.
Something's up. Like he's not just doing this no more just to do, like he's getting aggressive, so that's what I'm pushing for, man. I'm ready to take over. I'm ready to really branch out, and I feel like I got a message and something to be heard, and I'm not gonna stop until I reach the top, bro.
Man, that's what's up. I feel like when you got a message and you really purpose driven, that's like a huge thing when it comes to whatever type of thing you're trying to do. You got to have a purpose, and then it sounds like you really found your purpose during that time. Because I'll probably get into it a little bit, but I know you like probably dealt with some things while you're over in Texas, but between the things moving back. But I feel like that going through those things is kind of how you find yourself and find that purpose. And I think people are really gonna feel that now as you coming back strong, and you're driven with it. You have like that goal that you really want to get that message across. I feel like people are really going to feel that, because I feel like some people would just rap or just sing just because, or that you needed to go through these different changes and stuff like that to actually be able to, have that powerful, that tone, that feeling. It's different,
For sure. That's fact on that
one. But yeah, I just wanted to ask a little bit about what how was the experience when you moved to Texas? How did that affect your mentality? Different things that might have happened. If you dealt with any mental health issues, because I know I dealt with a lot of different things when I moved here. Identity and like trying to figure it out. The struggles and finances, all types of different things when you're moving to a whole new place. So if you don't mind telling us a little bit about how that went for you.
Ooh, man, like. It felt like it was so much like emotional and mental and spiritual battle, because coming from Florida to Texas, I had like a lot of stuff. Like I had previously been in a relationship that I thought I was going to end up marrying this girl someday, and that crashed, and that freaking broke me. COVID was pretty rampant, so money, I got my hours at work, whatever, got cut back. So I was like paying bills, struggling. And then, I went through like a depression, I went through very suicidal time. And then it was like everything I had built, all the money I was saving, like I ended up getting COVID. I had to use all my savings because I wasn't getting paid for my job before COVID. I was about out a month. So it felt like, man, everything just crashed down on me. And then I was like, the opportunity for Texas was there through my uncle, and I went, and boy, I thought it was gonna be maybe like everything was just gonna be so smooth, because I was like, man, that was a struggle. Financially it was a struggle, emotionally, mentally, not really knowing anybody, trying to make new friends, and it just was very tough time. And then I eventually moved out and went through stuff with that, you know what I'm saying? And apartment issues, other job issues, so I had a lot of mental struggle. And then being away from everybody I know are my true supporters, it got tough, man. I felt lonely a lot. I got depressed sometimes, or I wouldn't freaking leave my apartment for like 2-3 weeks. Like it was some serious stuff.
Yeah.
But in that darkness is where I really found myself. I found my strength. I found God more. And sometimes you got to go through those to really see what you're made out of too. Like if you never really gone through something really tough, man, I feel bad for you at this point, because the way this world's getting, like, we don't know what's going to happen. And if you ain't never been through nothing tough and come out, like, I would pray for you, because that's what makes you who you are, is the struggles, the resiliency. So I feel like not only as an artist, but as a person. Like, I had to go through that. And a lot of successful people we see, man, some of them slept in their cars, some of them got written off for so long, and now look at them now. So I look at it as just a part of the story of when I do reach that level of influence, I could just share that and encourage people like, hey, if you're going through this or feeling this way, it's going to be okay. You got to just keep pushing through and keep fighting.
Absolutely, man. I totally agree, because I feel that you have to go through things in order to be able to appreciate the good times. You know, what is the light if you don't know what the darkness is? And
exactly.
I've been through some pretty dark times too, especially like after moving here and like not having enough money, and then having issues. I had something happen with one of my roommates, and he was about to get us kicked out, and my credit wasn't great at the time, but I still needed to find my own place. And, you know, borrowing money from this person to pay this person back, it got kind of crazy around the COVID time. But, you know, going through all that stuff, I feel like right now I'm in such a better mental state. I have my sense of purpose. I feel like I was going through some relationship issues at the time as well, and just all the weird stuff going on in the world with COVID and not being able to be around people and having to be at the house all the time. All that was really affecting me. I thought, you know, during that time, I was like, did I make the right decision? Did I move to the right place? Did I, you know what I mean?
I had that, you know, the second guessing.
The second guessing, the doubting. It's like, I don't even know if I did the right thing. But I'll say I feel like I appreciate that time that I, you know, went through that, because now I'm in such a better place, and I feel that, you know, I can really appreciate it, because like you said, if no one's ever gone through anything, you know, life throws some hands sometimes. It really life has a pair of hands. So, you know, you know what I'm saying? So it really, I feel like that really helps to understand, you know, and really be grateful, really be grateful for the good times when they do come. I wanted to also ask about your music and everything, how when you're in the small town, and especially when you're starting off, how people don't really support your music and things like that. Because I've had the same thing happen with me with what I'm doing with Elevated Minds. Sometimes you would think that certain people will support you, and it ends up being quite the opposite. Some people do, but more than often it's not really like that. What are your experiences with that?
That's a ongoing battle, man, still to this day.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, man, I have a hand, on one hand I can count my actual, like, real consistent supporters over the last 10 years of my music. Actually more than 10 years, but I'll say 10 solid years of my music on a hand, bro. Like, I had to get to a place where I just accepted that don't expect people near you or that know you to support. And it sounds so twisted and so messed up, but for some reason, this is the best way to put it, people can only support to their capacity of whether they see themselves going or what they see you as. And, you know, we can't, I hit a point, I ain't letting nobody limit me or tell me I can't do this or can't make it, or I should just focus on a real career and let all this stuff go. You know, family, friends,
right,
people in the area. I hit a place where I can't care, because it sounds dark, I'd rather be dead than settle. I'm just gonna be real. Because
facts.
I settle and work this job, make all this money, but then I'm miserable because inside I'm not getting fulfillment, because I'm created and built for a purpose, and now I'm shoving it down. That sounds terrible. And you know, and I've tried to do that before, man, and it literally made me miserable. So at this point, I'm willing to lose whoever. I'm willing to not talk to whoever, because I know where I'm called to go, and whether or not people support or not, I mean, I can't control that. Does it bother me sometimes? Of course, because it's like, you know, I support them, or they want support in certain areas, and I show them love. It's a like, share, a comment,
Simple.
a repost. I'm not asking for you to even send me money, buy the song. Just stream it. Just watch the dang video. Just like it. Just comment. Like, it's not that hard.
It's not.
We sit on our phones all day. Most of us do on our free time. So you telling me you can't give a like, share, or comment, but you say you care about me and you support me. And it's like, I see people looking at all my stories, and I'm like, okay, y'all the same ones that consistently look at my stuff. So if you have that same type of energy just to give me a like or a repost, if you say you really do like my stuff or you support me, or maybe you don't even like my stuff, but just help me get it out there, you know? If you say you rock with me, you know? So now I just try to make sure I'm a man of my word and do that for people as well that I know. You know, I try to make sure that I like and share and comment and make sure that I watch their stuff, because I understand like it does get a lot to keep up with everybody. But come on now, if you consistently looking at stuff, like telling me you, yeah, come on now.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think, you know, that people do that?
One, maybe they don't really like your stuff. I mean, I've accepted that. Like, and not everybody. My stuff's not meant for everybody, anyways. Two, some of them, they may not want you to know that they're watching you. Yeah, like, which is weird, but
yeah,
maybe they just don't want you to know that you are. And I think three, some people might be intimidated. Like, real talk, they might be like, damn, so-and-so might go somewhere or going somewhere, or like, you know, I don't really understand it, but all I know is y'all keep watching. Y'all keep watching, but y'all can keep that fake love when you reach a level. I'll still appreciate love, but y'all can keep the fake love. I don't want to hear it, because
facts.
The reason why I don't want to hear it is not because of pride or arrogance. It's just, I just know it won't be authentic, because it's like, where was the support the whole time
while you were grinding and building it up?
So like, it's kind of like a slap in the face to come around and be like a fan all of a sudden. Like, be a follower, not a fan. There's a lot of difference.
Facts.
But I don't understand, man. But honestly, I know that the people I'm meant to reach is who I'm gonna connect with, and that's my driving force. No, there's people out there that haven't heard me, and I've been overwhelmed by the love that I have gotten in the last year or two of people I've connected with, other artists, other musicians, other people that just have seen my stuff on TikTok or seen my stuff on Instagram, and that's a blessing to me, because I didn't have that before, you know, as much as it has been people popping up telling me that it's touching them. So that's the most important thing to me, you know?
Yeah, man. I can really relate to that, because when I first started doing Elevated Minds, I didn't have a whole lot of support. It was people, there were some supporters from people that I care about, but there was a lot of them that didn't. And I was just like, you know, like you said, you expect somebody to just comment or share or just like it. You know, I see I'm getting all the views, so I'll be like, oh, I got 100-something views, but not one like, not one share. You know, what's going on? And so it really messed with me mentally for a little while. But something that I had to, which I feel like was a part of the growth of the process, was, you know, it's going to be for who it's meant to be for. Sometimes people that are watching, I feel like they don't always see the vision. Like you said, they might not like it. It could be a lot of different things. So I had to remember and tell myself, it's not just for them, it's for the world. You know, exactly. Your music is also for the world. It's not just for them anyways. It's like, you expect the support. At the same time, it's like, something I just had to really learn is not everyone's going to support, not everyone is going to like it. But there are people that will. And that's who it's for. And so that's something I had to just really learn, and not to take things personally, not to take things to heart. I'm creating this out of my heart, you know, and whoever is going to be cool with it, cool, and whoever is not, you know, it's not for them.
Exactly.
but it took me a long time to get to that. And there were some times I'm like, dang, maybe I should just quit right now. But it's interesting as I start to grow, and I think when I first got my first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I posted it, and then people that I thought were probably already following me, oh, you got 1,000? Oh, I'm about to join in now too. It's like, what?
Yeah. Hey, I think I'm almost at 500, so I'm trying to get to, because I honestly was focusing. If I had focused more the last like 5 years on YouTube, I would already surpass but I was more so focused on getting my stuff on like Spotify,
right? Right.
iTunes. I was so focused on IG, but I was like, dang, I've been missing out the whole time for YouTube, man. So now I've been focusing more on YouTube and videos and growing my channel so I could hit the 1,000, so I can start getting the monetization and stuff, man. So
hey, it's coming, man.
Congrats to you for getting to that place.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. And you're right on the way. Like,
yep, for sure.
The content is great, so all you gotta do is keep being consistent. That's how I look at it, But yeah, so one other thing I wanted to ask is, what's something that you were forced to learn while in Titusville, and then what's something you were forced to learn when you moved to Texas? What like the biggest lessons you say from both?
Titusville, I would say, just make sure you're around the right people. And why I say that is because in a city like this where people come to retire and a lot of people kind of settle, or they just go a career path or whatever, they're not really on the creative side, even though I know a lot of creative people out of Titusville, out of Brevard, some that are doing their thing right now. Hats off to y'all. You got to be correct around the right people, because if not, this city will make or break your dreams. So
facts.
I really associate with many people out of Titusville. I'm not really in Titusville much. I work in Cape Canaveral. I work out outside of Titusville on purpose. I made it a choice when I came back that I would be here, but not really here. But you just surround yourself by the right people, and in Texas, it was to know your worth and identity and who you truly are as a person, to solidify that and to operate from that position of knowing your worth, your value. And that's why I can come back here and I haven't got like, oh my God, this area is this, and depressed about it. No, I'm here to take over. I don't see any of this the same at all. I look at it as ground to conquer that I'm trying to conquer. I don't care. Because there's people here, man. People travel through Cape Canaveral. I work and people come in and people from all over the world. So the opportunity really is there, and the right venues in even Central Florida, and throughout South Florida. So to make an excuse, oh, you can't do nothing, and no, you can. It's just now it's I just have to step out and put myself. I actually made a reel about taking risks. So now my next strategic risk is I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to get a band. I'm going to start booking shows and intertwining covers with my own original music, and people will eventually gravitate, to me as an artist and my stuff. So that's just kind of where I'm at, man. And I'm trying to elevate and be even more elevated in my mind, no pun intended. And just level up, man. I'm ready to take over and dominate all 2023 coming up, but the rest of the year I'm gonna go hard,
Yes, sir, man. That's dope. I feel like overcoming a small town mindset, I feel like you've definitely already done that, you know what I'm saying? Because now I feel like you're thinking big, it's not just, I'm gonna get my stuff on Spotify, I'm gonna get my stuff on the music streaming thing. I want exposure, and I want to do shows, I want to do events and play music here and get my music on the radio and do what I'm saying? I feel like that's really overcoming the small town mindset, because when it came to things like wanting to do things like that, for me, when I first, before I moved here, I say my mindset was still not big enough. It still wasn't, I didn't really see the potential with things. I didn't really see, my potential. But I feel like once you start to break through and you start to, I I already see, man, your stuff's going to go crazy. I already know. It's just going to be some consistency, and it sounds like you're already on the right, the right path. So, I just feel like overcoming a small town mindset definitely takes time and growth. It took me a long time. I feel like it took me a lot of unlearning and relearning and all types of things like that. But I feel like once you break past it, then it's literally only up from there. But there's just like a couple of questions left I have for you. Yeah. Would you say that your long-term goals changed now compared to what they were before?
I feel like there's just been an addition.
Like intensified.
Yeah, it's an addition. There's just certain things that I've added on to my long-term goal was always to, one, do music as a career, to travel, to tour, to see the world, to bless people with my wealth, with my resources. But I think it's just, it expanded by like, I want to leave a legacy.
Yes.
Behind, not just music, not just, oh, he's a dope artist, da 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 da. No, I want to leave a legacy behind that people will forever remember the impact. I want my kids to have generational wealth and to continue a legacy of really being who they are and reaching people and blessing people. Like I want to be that artist that doesn't just come and do shows or whatever, but he'll actually come and do community service work maybe a few days early before his big show, and people see him out working and being helping and doing this, and the next thing you know, they see him on some big stage. Like, isn't that same guy? Yeah, because I don't want to ever be too quote unquote big enough to come meet somebody at their level, because I know what it's like to be down there.
Absolutely.
To struggle, not have nothing, to barely make it, to be sad, to be, you know what I'm saying? So I want to be an artist that doesn't overlook the quote unquote small person, because no one is small. We're all equal. Some just have more money and more status, but at the end of the day, you're a human. You strip all that away, from any artist or any celebrity, at the end of the day, who are they? And some of them can't answer that. Absolutely. Because that's all they associate themselves with. So I want to leave a legacy behind and let people know, like, hey, like, your worth isn't determined by money, status, things. Like, it's determined by what obviously God says and what you say. And I want to raise up people that have that mentality. So, people just to take over, man, because the way this world is set up, they want you to stay at a certain level.
Facts. Hey, man, that's facts. And you know what? I think you already got the right heart for it. Your heart and your mind is in the right place. So, it's just a matter of time. And, it's not just about money. So that's why I feel like, it's all about providing value and giving value to people and blessing people. And, that's what I'm all about too. I want to, like, I don't know if I told you, I'm looking into getting into life coaching, because I want to help people, change their lives, motivate people, bless people. And when the money comes, I want to give you more, because there's just so much wealth in this world that we all can be a part of. And, but it's not even just about the money. It's really about, helping people. I got a heart for people too. So I think, when you're overcoming a small town mindset, that is even something that grows with you, is your purpose. You're not just driven for money, you're driven for the people, and what you can bring and the value, and really using your gifts and giving that to the world, because that's really what it's all about. That's really God's work, using that gift that you have for the world, and then you can inspire other people to do what they're supposed to be doing. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir.
Now, a final question for you before we go here, really just some parting wisdom. What would you give as far as advice for the viewers? What would you say to everybody for some parting wisdom?
All I could say is, man, really seek and find yourself and define yourself off things that will last, you know, not money, status, looks. Define yourself off of who you really are, man. You know, get right spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Just take care of yourself in every aspect. And also, man, do not settle. If you have a dream or a vision, do not settle. Like, do not dumb yourself down. Don't dumb yourself down for other people, man. Like, if you have that means you were meant for that. And sometimes that could be a very lonely road to success, to purpose, man. But in the end, you know, it's all gonna work out, and it's gonna be for a higher purpose, man. So just make sure you're good in every area as a whole person, man, and then just don't settle, man. Just go for it, even if it's day by day, one step at a time. Go for those things and invest in yourself. And because everybody else ain't gonna be investing in you until they start seeing
results.
They start seeing some benefits for them. So y'all stay encouraged, man. We're all gonna get there.
Hey, absolutely, man. I appreciate the words of motivation and wisdom. I appreciate you again for being here on Elevated Minds. Once again, y'all check out my boy's stuff. I'm gonna have all the stuff in the description below.